closely in mind for future question times. The member for Morialta.
Thank you, sir. Ministerial standards and accountability are very important in this place, sir. Standards and accountability is something the opposition takes very seriously. And the Ministerial Code of Conduct should not just be a set of words that the Premier of the day uses in order to describe a set of principles. It should be something that every minister lives and breathes. It should be the expectation when they wake up in the morning, when they go to bed at night, and at every moment that they are conducting their business, that they will abide by it. There are a range of legislated and policy-directed standards that are expected of everybody who is given the honour, the singular and unusual honour of being a Minister of the Crown in the great state of South Australia. Take an oath that you'll uphold these standards. And the Minister for Human Services has some questions to answer, sir, in particularly as to whether she has engaged in conduct that has been described earlier in question time. The questions that the Minister herself sought to denigrate throughout question time, sought to identify that she didn't take seriously, and indeed seems to impugn motives on members of the opposition who were simply seeking to ask questions about whether the standards of this House, of the government and the expectations of the people of South Australia were being met. Those characterisations, using terms like petal to describe opposition members asking a question, they are beneath any minister, sir. And I think that it behoves the Premier to reflect on, indeed, his minister's conduct, because for months we've been asking about the set of circumstances that a minister would find appropriate to send a political email, a self-confessed, identified political email to arrange thousands of public servants throughout South Australia. And the gravity of that mistake has been downplayed at every turn by the minister, although it has been admitted as a mistake. Until today in question time, sir, when the minister sought to revel in her own glory, describing her greatness and how she gets stopped all the time by public servants allegedly under her employ to tell her how good she is. Never before in the field of human endeavour, never before in South Australia's long and rich and coloured history has a minister been so loved by the people whose employment depends upon her favour. Sir, today was an extraordinary performance. And as has been pointed out, there are members of the Labor benches on the back, a long way away, so far away that their interjections can barely be heard from the day in front, who loved today. He's still smiling, sir. He's enjoyed it very much. He's excited about the opportunities.
Order.
But, sir, there was a very serious...
Take your seat. There's a point of order.
Come on.
The member... The leader... won't shout across the chamber. The leader will not respond to my directive. Okay? Does the leader wish to remain? Okay. I can facilitate that. The member for Flory.
Sir, I would ask the member to withdraw, imputing improper motives to me. I certainly was not laughing with about the minister. I might have been laughing at that clown over there, but no one else.
Okay. The member continue.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw the word clown.
The members were...
It's come up today from the minister's own mouth, and it appears that she doesn't realise it. In 2018, it was very clear that when the Honourable Stephen Wade received an email to his personal account that he did not indeed seek, members of the then opposition, now the government, the Premier, the member for West Torrens and indeed the Health Minister asked questions in this place about that very fact. The Minister for Health put out a press release saying that the Minister had questions to answer. This is, I remind the House, in response to the Minister having been in receipt of an email that was sent to his personal email account that he then, of course, identified for state records. The Minister for Health said at the time, it's a startling revelation that a state government minister has set up his own private email server. The ICAC Commissioner has previously given very strong warnings about conducting business on private email accounts. There are many questions that the Minister must answer. Can the Minister demonstrate he never used this account to conduct government business? What security measures are in place on the private email server? How do we know that information is not being compromised? I don't think the Minister has any other choice but to hand over his private server to the manager of state records to ensure there has not been a breach of any regulations, law or security. That's the standard that the Minister for Health, indeed the Premier and the member for West Torrens, by their also having questions in the House of Assembly, applied to the then Minister for Health for just having been unknowingly in receipt of an email. This minister has had a political email sent out to public servants, we would argue, in contravention of the Ministerial Code of Ethics. She has admitted that it was generated from a private email server. She has admitted that it was sent to the department from work business on a private email. In the course of question time, and I look forward to reading and seeing the Hansard, the minister seemed to state, as far as I could hear, as far as those on this side of the House could hear, that she herself thought it was reasonable practice for government business to be conducted, whether by ministerial staff or, from what I heard the minister herself, I stand to be corrected, using a private email. Sir, that would be a direct violation of the standards set by the government when they're in opposition. It raises serious questions about abuse of the State Records Act. It is in opposition to the former ICAC Commissioner's statement. The Minister has serious questions to answer. Today she has shown herself to be unworthy of the title.
The member for